Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers and patrons on Patreon. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. And there are people who have heard the message, drive now or walk later. And I spent 3.5 months in Arkansas, and it began by kind of a request for help regarding a bear, but that sister had heard my statement, drive now or walk later, and so located, in northwest Arkansas instead of going all the way into Missouri because her entire family is in Texas. Okay. And I met a guy while I was there. His entire family is in Texas, and they are north and east of Dallas. They are actually on the big triangular, golden triangle, whatever you want to call it, safe region, on that mystery map that was talked about by Lisa on OzArk Journey to Self-Sufficiency. His entire family is up here north and east of Dallas. They are on the what he called the land of Goshen, where people would be led or driven by circumstances, or driven, led by the Lord or driven by circumstances inside that area, which will be less hit by Yah's judgment. So it's been going on for many decades. I just talked to a young man today who is in, of all places, New Jersey, and he and his father have been planning a move here for a long time. His father grew up in the Ozarks, and they're coming back, and a lot of people are just coming back home. They're coming back home. They have that drive to come back home. I talked to one woman. They bought a house, made a bid on it, and laughed all the way home and said, nobody will ever accept that. And they got home, and the phone was actually ringing. Your offer's been accepted. They said, well, now we have room for all 8 of our children. And I said, what brought you here? And she said, I had to come back home. I was one of the first children born in Branson, Missouri, in the Branson Hospital. So, all right, so I'm going to slowly focus in here and just get a good close-up so you can get an idea of the region. This is very legible as long as I can hold it steady. So the southern border of the OzArk Plateau and the Craton is the Arkansas River here. Okay. And then, so that flows into the Mississippi, but the plateau comes just right up here, west of the Mississippi, at an angle, same angle as the Mississippi, and then comes up, okay, same angle as the Mississippi. I'm looking at the map and hot at my finger, and then follows the kind of almost a straight line across here toward about Nevada, along the Lake of the Ozarks, Osage River, Lake of the Ozarks and the Osage River. So here's the Missouri River as a border, and of course lush farming here. All of these, this whole green region designates really good farming, really good food production. Okay. So as long as everything inside that river is held, good food production. Okay, and then it comes down, tracing through here, Lake of the Cherokees, Neosho River, the Verdigris River, Gibson Reservoir, and into the Arkansas River there at about Muskogee. So there you see the Salt Fork flowing into the Cimarron, the North Canadian, just several rivers flowing into the Arkansas River there. North Canadian, Cimarron, Arkansas River, starting way, I'm not even going to trace that one because it would just get ridiculous. That goes all the way into Colorado. People move to Colorado they go visit Colorado to kayak on the Arkansas River from Europe, and they move to Colorado so they can kayak on the Arkansas River for the rest of their lives. Starts up there at about Leadville, Salida, Canyon City, Florence, Pueblo, Rocky Ford, La Junta, Lamar, Syracuse, Garden City, Dodge City. And that river, doesn't even say what river that little one is. So, Salt Fork flows into the Arkansas, the Verdigris flows into it, the Neosho, as I said before. I'll try to stabilize this better. Sorry. So that'll give you an idea. There are rivers that surround the Ozark Plateau, and there's farmland that surrounds the Ozark Plateau, and the Ozark Plateau itself is been described as the greatest bioregion on Earth for survival agriculture. I made that comment to one man who is from Minnesota. He goes, well, we have soil 8 foot deep. And I was like, survival agriculture, not tank country agriculture. Germany rounded over Poland in like 3 days, and it'll run over, any invasion can pretty well run over at will most of the United States that's relatively flat. So, and I will point out once again, I just talked to this young man today that I was in a library in Kansas, and I had talked to the founder of the man that drew that map, that mystery map. Okay. He said Scottsbluff, Nebraska, from here down to Lubbock, Texas. Okay, right there. So from there to there. Atlanta, Georgia, which is over here somewhere. I see Georgia. Augusta, Athens, I don't know. Marietta, Atlanta, okay. And then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. See where that is. Follow up to here, Pittsburgh. Say, Pittsburgh over to Scottsbluff. Okay. So Scottsbluff, I'll try to do it here real quick. Scottsbluff to Lubbock, Atlanta, Georgia, and up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, so that's the breadbasket of the United States. Grow a lot of food there. And then he made the statement on the phone to me, how big that area ends up being will depend on how many good people pull within that region to hold it. Well, not a lot. So you shrink all that down and eliminate all the colder parts and the flat parts and the parts being invaded from Mexico and the parts being invaded by, other peoples coming in from the south and the east, and drugs and all the other things, and the high population density of the East Coast, that 2/3 of our country's populations lives on 1/3 of the land mass, and that is east of the Mississippi. Okay, this is about 1/3 of the land mass. 2/3 of the nation lives there. The East Coast is very highly populated, very densely populated. Not good. Low altitude. All this low altitude, not good. High population density, not good. Large cities, not good. A lot of drugs and evil, not good. Drugs being brought in from the south, drugs being brought in from Mexico. Eliminate a lot of that. What are you left with? Right in the middle. 500 miles. I can go like that and cover that. That's 500 miles. Okay. I can go like this. It's 500 miles to the Great Lakes. Right up there, 500 miles. I've done it on Google Earth, I kid you not. From here to Mexico, 500 miles. Right there, I can just about do it. Okay, 500 miles. And from here to the Rockies, 500 miles. So, land of Goshen in the middle of the United States. All right, this is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you're the remnant. It's ready for me to take a break, take a nap. I'm at Tabernacles 2019, second one this year, and I just had a chance to eyeball this map in more detail from the time I did my presentation here many, many years ago, and I thought, well, I've got to push and take the opportunity and make the time to do this video. So it's what I could do, get done here, and hopefully I can do more later. I know that times are changing and rapidly, and I hope to be of more use than I am being right now, but please hang on. Times are changing and life is going to change here, I believe, very shortly. One way or another, it's going to change for me, as I've been saying for quite some time. All right. Since spring. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. Get one more close up.